Time being 7 o'clock, we'll open the meeting, Sewer Water Commission.
I'll make a motion to approve the abatements.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 5-0, man. Okay. And we have some requests for abatements. In addition,
There's 5 requests that I have,
Yeah.
just a brief summary for you of what the resident is requesting, what the situation was. If you'd like me to explain, or, first one is the Tilton Court.
Go ahead.
Mr. Swan had called regarding, he received a high water bill, which was based on actual usage. After, in the office, we investigated, based on the transmission reports, he had higher than normal usage between March 16th and June 19th, which are on the usage reports attached.
which one is this,
Well-
Mary?
It's for Tilton Court.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not the first one, you got about
Mr. Swan.
3 or 4
Okay.
pages in. It's D.
There's
Swan.
For
there's
Tilton.
yeah, there's the memorandum.
That's correspondence
in there.
for,
For Tilton Court,
No, this is at the very beginning.
yeah.
They're all clipped together. It starts with this email,
The first one is with the Pelican, which is
Pelican, yeah, which
invoice
is
dispute,
the
but you
invoice
go beyond
dispute.
that, maybe 5 pages in, you'll see
I got
for
it.
There's,
Tilton.
yeah, there's 5
By the
separate,
four Tilton
there's
Court.
5 separate
Right.
memos here. So,
Do we have a good meter reading on that?
the transmissions that we were receiving, it indicated that there was higher than normal usage. We asked the resident for a meter reading to confirm the transmissions,
Right.
which matched. Both Scott and I spoke to the gentleman, because he cannot explain what happened and doesn't believe that
Did we explain
that water
him,
had passed through at that time.
did we explain him we can have the meter tested if he prefers that way?
Yeah, that was explained to him, but it was also explained that if the meter was accurate, he'd have to pay the $100 fee for testing it.
Right.
And since the problem miraculously was fixed, I think your explanation was a toilet was stuck, that got
Yeah.
unstuck, and
It-
that
it went through the
accounted
meter.
for it. I think we
Which-
send them a note saying, that's what we believe, and offer them if they want for,
Which one is this?
to test the meter, but if it turns out to be accurate, they'll owe us the money and leave it at
No,
that.
no,
So I would
that's the
recommend
number.
that,
No
Mr.
number.
Chairman, that we
Right,
send them.
and we've always said if it goes through the meter, you owe it,
Right.
you know?
So I'll make that as a motion,
Okay.
that we send them.
Can I get a second on that?
Second.
I got a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
No.
Opposed? What are you guys doing?
I'm in favor of it.
You in favor, Patrick?
yes.
4-1.
It's just that I couldn't
Oh,
find
oh.
the actual piece
Okay,
of
we go
paper.
back to,
Next one.
So the next one is
Mr.
5
Kapoor.
Sawmill Road.
what? Wait a minute.
Mr. Chairman, this is one that,
I've got a,
Yeah, they're
Take the
in
clip
the,
off the top.
you gotta go down like,
if you unclip that, John,
Take
they're
the
all,
clip off and then they're on the rock. First one, ignore that one.
they're,
That's not it.
it's the
it was
next
on the
one.
top.
So, okay, so we just did this one, so it's the next one after this.
it's Michael Gibbs.
See that one right there?
Sawmill Road?
Yeah, 5 Sawmill Road.
Okay,
So Mr. Gibbs sent an email in to the board requesting any reimbursement on his most recent bill. His sprinkler company had come out to his residence on June 21st. They did not attach the pipes correctly from his system, which resulted in about 2,500 cubic feet in 24 hours. So he called the company back. We had called based on the high usage.
so his sprinkler system was tied in with his regular water?
With his, yes. So basically, he's,
So then it went into the
He's-
sewer?
I believe he's saying it's leaking. It didn't go in the sewer. The irrigation system was leaking. It went
the
to the ground,
irrigation
not the sewer.
system, it was outside. the
So-
pipes outside.
This would be one of those cases where we would abate the sewer amount, but
Yeah.
if they wanna go after anybody, it's on the water.
Yes,
Go
which-
after your
right, yeah.
irrigation company.
He completely is not putting it on our department, he was just looking for some
So it's a
relief on
standard
the sewer
approach that we've
charges.
taken.
Yeah,
So-
I'll make a motion to the effect that we'll abate the sewer. Is that, is that
Second.
standard
any
policy?
more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? There's a vote.
Okay, and the next one is 96 Lewis Ave. Mrs. Chase had called that her husband had turned on their sprinkler for a newly seeded area around dinner time on September 13th. He had failed to turn the system off that night. He had forgot, and he realized at lunchtime the next day that he had left the system running. So they are requesting any consideration on the sewer portion of their most recent bill.
And make a motion that we abate the sewer, that's standard policy.
That'd be the $44.
Yeah, $44.85.
I'll second that.
All right, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? 97 South Street?
Yeah, a pretty big,
My vote will be absent.
okay. Okay. 97 South Street, Mario Holmes, this is a rental property, and he had called to make us aware that his tenant's neighbor's child had left his outside hose running, which resulted in almost 1,200 cubic feet that passed through the meter on June 25th. He was requesting that the board removes the water charges from his bill on June 25th.
I would deny the abatement. He went through the meter, and if he's got an issue, is a parent of a child that they can talk to.
The
So
water
that's
went,
my motion.
the water went through the meter, right? We get a second on that?
Second.
Any more discussion?
Absent.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? 55 Ginley?
55 Finley. Okay, yes, so in this case, Mr. Sawyer had sent us an email because he received a large water bill. It was billed on actual usage. A couple of the office staff had spoken to him, trying to troubleshoot what the problem was. You know, we went through everything with him, it may be a toilet, you know, explained to him how to troubleshoot. After a short period of time, he called the plumber, who discovered that the safety valve on his hot water boiler was stuck in the open position, and it was dumping the water into a drain that was not visible. And he could not hear the water running. Has said that the problem has now been corrected.
What do we figure the excess water was, man, that went down the drain?
Let's see, so the
Well, this
The
we could just
daily-
abate the sewer, as our,
Yeah.
Right.
these others.
I'm just asking how much of that it,
what he requested was an abatement for the entire bill, for all the water charges and all the sewer charges.
Wow.
After just doing some calculations, during the time frame, in his daily usage from his last bill, it was an increase of 9 cubic feet a day. So, you know, it wasn't a situation that he appeared on our critical list, that we had called him due to the high usage. It was, you know, just higher than normal for him.
so Mayor, he's asking to have $802 rebated?
Yeah, the water went through the meter, it did not go into the sewer, as I read this.
Well, how do you know that?
Yes,
It said it went down the
We
drain.
don't know.
Yeah,
but it,
define drain.
it's gone on for quite, he couldn't give me an actual time frame of exactly how long it has been going on.
Can we look at prior bills and you see a pattern, and then,
I did, yeah, so
and if it's only 9,
it was really a difference of 9 cubic feet a day, from his
there's gonna be.
regular bills, so it was,
How many days?
Somebody started taking a shower.
And he wants the whole thing
The whole
rebated.
bill abated, yeah.
I'm willing to go with the sewer abatement, and maybe we just say, it's such a small thing, we do it for the last quarter
I'm
and
not
that's it.
sure with the sewer abatement.
No, I know
It
it.
went in the sewer. I'd like somebody to go,
Because
can
it
we
went down a drain.
check out this and
You
find
think
out
that drain
Not
is-
all
about
of
that
this, some
drain.
of this went through the sewer.
if that drain is
Then in which
what it's
case,
doing?
I was interpreting it was a drain that we
Just
did,
to get an explanation from the plumber.
yeah.
Yeah, because I don't recall ever seeing one of these things draining into a drain
No.
in the cellar floor or something.
I'm
So
not
I
gonna
take
rebate
back
the
my,
whole water
thoughts
charge
there.
anyhow.
Huh?
I'm not gonna rebate the water
No,
charge
no,
anyhow.
we can't do that anyway, but I don't think we should even do I don't think we should
If it
do
went in
the
the
sewer
sewer, yeah, it went in the sewer.
until we check it out.
Well, I changed my mind based on, you've convinced me that it is not a drain, it most likely is into the sewer, in which
I've just
case,
never seen that happen. I
Yeah.
mean, if you have sewer, usually that stuff is
Personally, I think it should be
integrated into
denied.
the
well, I,
sewer system,
I
otherwise it
make
floods.
that motion, I'll second.
All right, I'll make a motion, we deny this request. The
I'll
water
second
went
it.
through the meter and we don't know where
We
it
believe
went.
it went into the sewer.
I'm not gonna rebate his whole bill.
No.
Well,
No
they can
way.
check it out, Rick, and see if there is some type of a special situation that he has there.
I agree, it should be investigated, because,
But for the time being, I'm saying no rebate.
right, you'd have to know for sure. My house is a sump pump, if it went on the floor, you go to the sump pump, you get pumped out to the outside of the ground.
And
But
that's
you don't
fine.
know that detail yet.
If they can get an explanation on it, they can come back to us.
That's right.
Okay.
But we
Okay,
have, but we have a motion and a second to deny.
I seconded your motion.
All right, all those in favor of that?
Aye.
Absent.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Pelican,
yeah, so, okay, so 28 Pelican is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The situation, let's see here. So, Dr. Kapoor had moved into this residence January of 2018. He does have an irrigation meter and system. The first 2 summers he lived at the property, which was 2018, 2019, he did not use his system at all. The summer of 2020, according to the KP transmissions, we were receiving the same reading daily. It was assumed by our office that the system wasn't in use for the 3rd year in a row because the transmissions weren't showing any usage. This year, we've started to, any irrigation customer that we're noticing has no usage, we're calling them because of a situation that we've had in the past, that sometimes the transmissions aren't coming in. We're just assuming that they're not using the system, meter replacements happen, ends up that they are using the system. So in Dr. Kapoor's case, in June of '21, I had noticed that the same transmissions were coming in, so I had called, it was older equipment, I called to schedule an appointment to replace everything, and when that irrigation meter came back to the office, there had been usage on it. He was billed for 2,561 cubic feet, which was used for the summer of 2020, and usage up to June 8th, which hadn't been billed at 21. Dr. Kapoor had come into the office regarding the high bill of the high irrigation usage of 2,500 cubic feet, questioning it. Once we did an investigation, it was realized that he hadn't been billed at all in 2020 for his usage. So at the same time, we had discovered that his system, his irrigation system, which he had set for 2 days a week, while I was investigating the account, from the time frame of July 21st through August 20th, his system had been running about 5 times a week, using 35 cubic feet a day, but it still was going off 5 times a week. So he is just, in his letter, he just states that that was no fault of his own, that the system had gone off. That the water department hadn't notified him that his system had been running for 35 days. no, I'm sorry, for 5 days a week. I had explained to him that it wasn't that much usage that we would receive an alert of the critical consumption. So his request is, he's looking to see if the board could grant him a $100 abatement on his next bill.
I don't know,
The bill
Just
doesn't come
arbitrarily
back.
$100 he wants.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't see, I mean, he's gotta be responsible for his own sprinkler system. We can't provide a staff member of the town to watch everybody's sprinkler system.
Make a motion,
Yeah,
Jim?
I'll move, to, reject that, request,
We have a
or
second?
deny the request, excuse me.
I'll second.
Who second? Any further comment?
I'll be absent. I don't have much information on how to look into all this matter, so I'll be absent.
All right, all those in favor of denial? Aye.
Aye.
I think we're down to the superintendent status report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this plant, Roberts Filters Group removed the anthracite from filters 5 and 6. It did not meet the specification, they removed that. That's on them. The correct media was installed, the filters were put into service, and they're currently performing exactly as they should. We've moved on to filters number 1 and 2. They're currently empty. They're being sandblasted by the painting contractor. 1 is completely sandblasted. Number 2, they're working on today, and it was discovered that the raw water inlet header has some holes in the piping, mostly at threaded fittings, but also at elbows, and needs to be replaced. I spoke with Roberts Filter. They're gonna have those assemblies built and have them coated before they're shipped, so that's not gonna interfere with the painting project here. The painting contractor will paint up to that point.
What do they call it?
They have their own specified coating. They call it R-Core 16 paint that's specified by them for drinking water. There's no VOCs. It's to their specifications. That's what's being used to coat the inside of the filters now, and that's what will be on the piping.
Good.
We had one minor leak in Park Lane. It's very minor, it's a leaking curb stop. This Saturday, we had a water main break on Birch Road, 8-inch cast iron, circle crack. The guys got right on that, repaired it very quickly. Washington 6 and Old Post Road Booster Station. We've proceeded with getting the generators installed there. They're doing the electrical work for the stations, pouring the pads for the gas meters because they have to be replaced, pouring a pad at Washington 6 for the generator. So that's continuing. Now that the water management policy is over for this year, we've begun the fall hydrant flushing, and we're focusing first on the water quality areas, Pilgrim Way, Rhodes Ave, known issues, and then we're moving on to the routine maintenance of the dead ends. Yeah.
Very good, Scott.
Do we know when our water withdrawal permit will be finalized?
No, you'll see that in here, that, you know, NEPA's commented, the public has commented, the town has responded back. It's in the hands of DEP right now. They indicated initially that they wanted to move quickly with this, but that really has no meaning. They take the time that they take, and we haven't heard anything yet.
Some of that's in your package there, Bill.
Yeah, I saw the response and theirs. I was
Yeah.
just wondering if they, since they responded, we responded,
No indication yet.
is there the next step? So,
I would think it'd be in the next few weeks.
Okay, let's get on to correspondence. We have a letter from the Boy Scouts thanking us for the use of Jarvis Farm. That'll be read and noted. Once River Watershed Association.
this was NEPR's comments, followed by number 3, which is Rick's response. Good response there,
Yeah.
Mr. Mattson?
They responded about how we figured they would, right?
Yeah, no surprises.
I find it interesting, I'm looking for the exact quote here, they seem to be more concerned about the cold water fish
Yeah,
than, the residents of Walpole,
yeah, or anybody else.
yeah. And then,
That's them for you. And we have a couple of things from Bill Hamilton here.
Number 4.
John, this updated list here is the order of the packages. I'll give it to you again.
Oh, okay, so this one is done.
Where are we now?
Here's a menu from Cal Baldwin.
That's it there, that's it there, yeah.
Oh, here it is.
They do mention in there on the section dealing with utilities that they mention about the sewer lift station and looping a water main, which I would concur with. I would think that we would, in addition to agreeing with what the town engineer has written, to let the, I guess it's to the Patrick DeShanes, that make him aware that this project is adjacent to the 400-foot radius for Washington well number 5, and that I think it's important that they be aware that no work should be allowed within the 400-foot radius of that well, and I think they should install a fence so that even during construction, they don't, because if I've seen what they're proposing, the buildings are very close to their, the end of their land, so that no construction activities, or later, once residents are there, that they know that they are not to do anything within the 400-foot radius. And also, I think we should mention salt usage on the roads, because if you've seen that area where it all slopes down. And I'm not sure whether we can tell them we don't want any salt usage, given how the steepness of those roads are,
No, we have no salt right out here.
and that
We
would
can
be
tell
fine.
we're concerned about, chemicals
It's the
entering
same
the
area.
aquifer.
So those are the two things that I would ask about.
Washington Street's supposed to be no salt, of course, when the trucks come out, it goes all over the place,
Yeah.
but other than that, it's,
But I would, the three
wanna make a
things,
motion, do we
that I,
notify them with that?
well, my motion would be that we concur with the comments from the
Engineer.
town engineer.
Right,
Also mentioning, in addition, that they should be aware of the project is adjacent to our 400-foot radius around Washington well number 5, and I think that they should request that they install a fence so that they know where it is, so that when they're constructing these buildings, they don't end up in the area, since they're not supposed to do anything like that.
And disturbance.
That fence should remain, so once residents are there, we don't find a swing set in the 400-foot radius at some point. And also mention our concern about salt usage on the.
Well, it's not just salt, it's chemicals. Now they have all different kinds of things they use.
So I
for-
will amend
salt.
my salt to say chemicals, salt, et cetera.
okay.
Or de-icing materials.
De-icing materials, okay,
Now we're getting technical.
yes. So that would be my motion.
I like the beer myself.
Yeah. All right, I'll second that. Any more discussion?
Beets,
Beets
yes.
are good.
All those in favor of Bill's motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
Abstain.
Abstain. Oh, that's right, too, John. 401 there.
Correspondence 5, this is Bill Hamilton.
5 and 6 are from Bill Hamilton.
This relates to the 55 Summer Street.
All right,
The zoning board has already approved it with conditions. And, talking to John Lee, the chairman of the zoning board, the applicant is appealing it. But the thing is, the horse has left the barn on this
Yeah.
one. And, you know, there was plenty of time to make these comments, and he did, you know, express many times. So I don't know what you can do at this point. The
This is
hearing
just-
was open, comments made.
This is just a rewind of his comments before anyhow.
So,
Read and noted. Okay.
this is just a
Sarabia
read
Estates.
notice, the planning board is, we're just getting notified of their decision, so.
It's
Al
done.
Sarabi.
Okay, we can't do anything with that, that's read and noted.
Addressed to Mrs. Danielle Sakar anyway. It's not even a birthday.
Yeah.
Not even worth it.
And, number 8,
Again, we're just being informed by the planning board of their decision. I mean, we've made comments on all of these projects anyways.
And that's not watershed.
there is the decision. Okay, number 9. Garden Path Estates, 585 Washington Street, 6-lot subdivision.
It's not in our aquifer, it's close to the entrance to the Bird Middle School.
It's like opposite Ponderosa.
I went by there today, there is no house, but you can see where there was one, and apparently it burned to
It's the
somehow.
house that caught on fire with the two.
Yeah, so there's like a vacant lot, and apparently they want to just go beyond, but it's not in our aquifer. I looked, I know, Pat, you're always interested in looping, but I don't see,
I do,
and I was hoping you'd see something, so.
I do.
What do you see, Pat?
I see that there is, if I have the right map here, between Luso Road and this proposed Napolis Way, on lot number 5, if we could have an easement coming from the cul-de-sac running along the, I think it's the northerly side, the utility easement terminating at this, somebody's lot that's very close to LaRusso Road, because when you look at the big map up here, you can see that it fulfills a need to make a grid connecting the two main streets.
So where, I see
Okay.
lot 5 and 6 are at the end.
You see
and
lot
4
5?
Yep,
A lot, actually, it's lot 4, it's even
Right.
better, because it's already weird.
yeah.
If we take, connect we take an easement on that weird
Triangles are interesting.
piece there, a 20-foot easement,
Yeah,
to the, to that lot that's on Luso Road,
right.
that would give us the ability someday, and I see this little weird, looks like there's already an easement or something there, see it?
Sliver, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that means if we needed to get to LaRusso
Well,
Road,
I think he's talking about this little sliver right here.
Is
that
it
if you-
on lot 4?
Well, no, it's not.
that looks like an easement.
It shows it's part of lot 4.
See?
Oh, I thought you meant
Yeah,
this.
yeah. No, he is talking about there.
I'm talking about 2 slivers here.
Well, it'd be interesting to know what that little very thin, because then maybe if you wanted,
I think
go
that's,
out to
I
Grace
think,
It's
Memorial.
part of lot 4.
I don't know.
well, Grace Memorial wouldn't do it.
Look at your map.
No, but
This here?
Yeah, it's not.
It's part of lot 4.
yours is,
I mean, it's
no, at the
better than
end.
nothing, but,
Pressure.
yeah, but it's kind of, it would be nice to get to here, because when you look at the
I
map,
got something, I'm talking about, Pat's talking about this thing right here.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the sliver here.
No, he's talking
Oh.
about the sliver. Oh, here it is. He's saying, oh, wait a minute, we ought to find out what this is.
Oh, what's
'Cause
that?
otherwise-
Another sliver.
Yeah, but it doesn't appear to be connected,
let's
so who knows
investigate.
what that is, but it would be interesting if you were,
potential for looping,
yeah,
because you, on my house, there is one of these marks, and what it is it was an old drain easement
yeah.
that was put in for some reason, that's
you to run drains. For you to run drains.
Yes.
So we want to,
I know what it was,
We can find out from engineering what that.
it was a drain easement, really.
We wanna
Make
send
a
some
motion
comments.
That we copy the, go to the planning board and copy the town engineer that we're interested in the possibility of a loop.
right,
and-
Not to Grace Memorial Drive. The loop would go to LaRusso.
Well, I wasn't going to specify in
Okay,
my
that's
motion,
fine.
so let him go to
Yeah.
wherever, so that
All
would be
right,
my
until the
motion that
easement,
we
Who cares, right?
send to.
and I would second that, Bill.
All right. Harry, you
Any
know
more
what to
discussion?
say?
No, all those in favor?
Pursuing a
Aye.
loop.
Aye.
All right,
Yes, aye.
Aye, aye, aye,
Aye.
5-0.
Five.
Boy. Hash Brown Holdings.
You guys had already seen this, these are the revisions. You had requested, some additional information on chemical storage and things of that sort.
Right,
So my thought was I can see that they've made changes. Have they addressed any of our concerns, or have they made changes that now bring new concerns? I don't know.
Good point. Also, that
So we didn't get to see what the revised plans look like.
Well, there's a bunch of,
the only thing they did was provide the,
I know they provided the
Yeah.
answers. Okay. Well, we could answer back that our original comments still apply, which was having the downspouts on the existing building as well as the new be addressed, and we also were interested in the chemicals, so.
I'd like to see what the containment systems are.
Well, if we have the plans, the revised ones, open them up, take a look.
so,
This is hash
she brought a
brown.
wide
do
variety
you,
of plans.
do you read that, Bill? It
What?
says, town engineer comments, September 10th, and it says no comments. And then it goes through all the revisions submitted. Does that mean the town engineer did not review the revisions?
Well, no, I think that there were comments, this is comments from the town engineer, and the engineer, their engineer was saying, this GLM is saying they have no comment on Carl's comment number one. So, if we can open that up to see what their revision, I don't know if they highlight what their revision is. I believe, listening to the planning board, I believe this is now covered.
That's the outside storage stuff.
This, and I believe they're now covered that as opposed to just being opened. I heard that at the planning board. I think there was a lot of gravel parking lot, and now I think they're paving it. And I know that they were moved, right here is where their entrance is. The planning board hearing, they widened it because the fire chief says he can't make the curve without going across the center line.
Yeah.
They said, okay, and then I think down here, due to sight distance, they were going to have another gate so the fire trucks could come in, wrap around and out. Those are the things I remember hearing at the planning board, but
You know, it may be good now that you've got the in-person meeting, that you have these engineers come before you, like you used to for these projects, and give you an overview.
I think that's a good idea. Why don't we, the hearing is still open, why don't we ask that the applicant appear before us with their engineer to explain the changes as well as go over our original comments
Right,
and see that they're responded to, so.
I wanna see what the containment system is.
Yeah, particularly in a case like this one, where it's in
It's very close to Area 1, I believe.
Okay, ask them to come in.
We would also want to let the planning board know that we're requesting that the applicant and their engineer appear before us at our next meeting I rolled this up the wrong way.
Did you get that, man?
Yeah, it's November 8th, so I'll reach out and
Thanks.
set that.
Okay, moving right along. Napontet Solar, 455 South Street.
This is the one, I think, behind Harwood Engineering.
I think you're right, Bill.
It backs up to the solar farm that's at the end of, what is it, production or industrial road? Industrial road. I don't know that we've had any,
That's a pretty passive,
yeah. And we could write to the planning board that we have no comments.
yeah. If you make a motion to that, I'll second that.
I'll make a motion to that effect that the Sewer and Water Commission has no comments at this time.
I will second that.
Second.
A couple seconds, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Good. Lincoln Estates.
Correspondence 12 and 12A both deal with gravel removal. We've already responded with our issues dealing with water, they're not on sewer. And the issue is, it's an awful lot of gravel removal, and that's what the planning board
I'm
is.
not happy about that.
Yeah, so I don't know that there's any comments that we would have on gravel removal, since it isn't a sewer and water issue.
Unless it's in an aquifer.
It's not, it's not. So,
40 trucks a day for 1.8
did you
years.
get something put in your mailbox, John? A handwritten thing from somebody who's on Lincoln Road?
No.
No, maybe because you're over the bridge, they're saying, oh, the zillions of trucks, and they're gonna come on West Street as well as heading out of town.
I think they're going the other way, too.
Yeah. But I don't know that there's any comments we have in it beyond what we
No, we
originally
can't control
discussed. So, we could either say that our.
This was basically for the removal of the,
It's gravel,
The
yeah, that's
gravel.
the issue the planning board has at this point.
yeah, it's
Our
nothing.
comments still stand,
Will
maybe
come
send a
later.
note that our original comments dealing with sewer, water still continue.
Okay,
So I'll make that as a motion to respond to the planning board.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained?
Abstain.
And 11A is on the same property.
This is that odd condo situation down by the train station where, was it Dry Creek? That building.
Now, I'm
is-
still on Lincoln Estates here, Bill.
Oh, they're both the comments related
12A.
to the gravel
Yeah.
removal. Yeah, 12 and 12A,
13, now that's your West Street and Spring.
yeah. I didn't see anything, it's, that we wouldn't agree with. They talk about sewer manholes that, manhole covers, and I'll ask our superintendent if there's anything of issue that,
No, this has already come before the board.
so,
Okay,
we can respond that we have no additional comments on this, project.
yeah, I guess we could. I'll
I'll make-
second, I'll
okay.
second that. All those in favor of that?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained? 5-0. Stigmatine Filers, 605 Elm Street.
They say they were renovating the interior of a 10-bedroom home and reducing the number of bedrooms in the main house to 5 bedrooms, as well as now they are constructing an addition, a 2,197 square feet addition that will consist of 4 additional bedrooms for a total of 9, and then 10, I guess they have now. And generally consisting of relocating driveway and utilities to the north of the existing entrance, landscaping, HVAC, relocation of utility easements to the existing gravel driveway. So they have water, as Mary, I came in with the wrong address trying to find it, but they
We
do
figured
have
it
water, they don't have sewer, they're not asking for,
This is right across from Minebrook.
yes. Minebrook 4 actually is on the other, but it's
The other
it's an
side of the
existing
tracks.
home with water already. I don't know what we would comment on.
Well, this is a religious, owned by a religious something.
Yeah.
So, I don't understand, why are they before us at all?
Well, the planning board is just,
Is there tanks or
Just notified us.
they're just notifying us.
that they're tearing down part of the house?
No, the way I interpret the planning board's notice for the public hearing is that it currently has 10 bedrooms.
Yes.
They want to reduce that in the main house to 5, and then they want to construct an addition, 2,197 square feet, that will add 4 bedrooms, resulting in 9 bedrooms. So they're going from 10 to 9, but it looks like
They have to deal with the Board of Health for their septic.
All right, the part I would even be concerned about is that we do have our well fields. Are they gonna do land disturbances that could affect us? That's my only concern.
They are relocating some utilities in a driveway.
All right,
It's in this here.
that's my concern,
Yeah. All right.
land disturbance.
We'll probably get a
Especially
notice
on
from
the addition.
conservation on this as well,
Yeah, they're
because
gonna
they
have,
handle land disturbance.
oh, we do too.
But I'm just saying, we don't give a permit to the
No, we
conservation.
do not, but. So, yeah, if they're gonna be digging a new foundation and stuff like that, and then we don't know how that's going to interact with our watershed.
So we want to invite the applicant in.
I would like to know, yeah,
Okay.
what's gonna happen.
I would be surprised if that would affect it at all.
I don't know. Rick, Scott, your thoughts?
I don't see how it would affect anything really.
We have a couple houses like this in town already. What is this for, like retired priests? They find residents where they can have, 5 or 10 bedrooms, and they reside there after they stop priesting.
I'm not real concerned with it.
That's the only thing I can think of that, why would be interested.
So is the current water for 10-bedroom home?
Is what?
Is the current water line for 10-bedroom home there?
There is.
It's
They do have
pre-existing.
water.
But
Yeah.
but is it for 10-bedroom?
It's a
Now they're
10,
going to 9, so they're going
No,
to
but
have fewer.
can you verify that it's already 10-bedroom?
it's already there. It's a 10-bedroom home there now. What they want to do is construct another building with 2,000.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
true. What I'm asking is that, let's say if somebody built a house in 1960, 10 bedrooms, small 10-bedroom house. Now they're building, 5 more.
But where there's 10 there now, if it's not adequate, it's not adequate now. They're gonna remove 5 and add 4, so those are gonna be 1 less.
So is there any changes to the bathrooms and
I don't know anything
Well,
about
that's the
this.
Board, if it's not on sewer, the Board of Health
will take,
does that. They have to design a septic system and prove they're taking care of all the current.
okay,
It's gotta go up to current standards now, not the old standards when they
okay.
built it.
sounds good.
Okay.
All right, so I guess I'll fill in.
So are we gonna have somebody come and talk to us about this?
At this point, no, unless
No.
somebody
All right,
wants
so
that.
in our comments, can we put down that we're concerned about land disturbance affecting our aquifer? Since
All
it's
right.
adjacent to it, basically?
I'll make a motion that, to that effect, if you'll, or you want to make that motion, and
No,
I'll
go
second.
ahead, I'll second it.
All right, I'll make a motion that we'd like the applicant to appear before us.
To
Okay.
answer questions about
Protecting the
how,
wood.
well, we don't have to say it.
Yeah.
All right, so it's moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it's 4-0-0. And John's coming back next.
Yeah, we just voted on something.
Water
You have
production.
to bring donuts to the meeting from here on in.
they asked to have the priest come in and tell us this story.
Okay. Now we're down to Bill's reports here.
The only thing I'd make note of is, as you can see, that July, August, and September, again, we were, water usage, what we pumped,
Are we on discussion item 1 now?
yeah.
Yes.
So, again, just I continue to let you know.
It was a wet summer.
Yeah, and I mean, what you, I would look and see, be concerned about is, if you don't pump it, you can't bill for it. If it, so there's a potential that we're going to, revenue won't be where we expect.
Can you
But we'll
hold on?
continue to provide that information each meeting, or every month anyways.
Yeah, that's good.
But,
Can you hold it 1 second on this? I did put something on the agenda that never got to it, but what I wanted
It's
to
gonna get there
discuss.
at the end, Pat.
Huh?
It's gonna get there at the end.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Okay, so we
so
all
the
set
only,
with this?
only comment I have is, we had 4 months extra, and then the averages are still not more than 10% difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Item 2 is, again, provide the revenue numbers each time. In both cases, I get the numbers around the 10th of the month, so if we have a meeting prior to the 10th, we won't have them, I won't have the information, so, as I said, I will continue to provide for our usage here.
Okay. Number 3, meter to cash report. What do you wanna do?
No, I think this is again pending with the public record request. So the whole purpose was to monitor the delays,
Right.
how much time it's taking and how much we can improve it. So the only thing I got first
Could you
time
speak up,
was.
please?
Yeah, sure.
I can't hear.
Sure. So the whole idea is to monitor the delay in the billing and basically find out the ways to improve that billing cycle, so that people get billing on time. So what I got previously was just one statement saying that, yes, we have delays and this is the 40 days, 45 days, 43 days plan, which I don't think will work. We have to come up with some other plan which can reduce those delays. And the meter to cash
I think it's slowly getting better, though.
I still see 45 days, so that's what the last meeting was the problem. Like, I am like, 45 days is not acceptable,
I'm not in any rush to get a water bill.
No, which is fine, but in the whole picture, like if just before this we check the revenue numbers. This revenue number is showing me that, we already have 27% collection when the billings are not even gone for this quarter. That means this is the overflow coming from the last fiscal year.
Yeah.
And every fiscal, last 3 years, we had 121% actuals, more than what we thought, what we projected. So that means we are always projecting wrong. We are always wrong by 20%. So that's a big problem there. Like, we want to reduce that actual and projected numbers to be as accurate as possible. So that's the idea. The meter to cash is to monitor, like, are we billing on time? Are we getting the money on time? And it is just a simple thing about asking how much we billed last 3 months, how much we collected, how much lag is that. So that was the request. It was not given, so I requested through public request. It was again same data was given. Then I appealed it to the state. The state appeal agreed with me, and they asked the town to provide me that report by end of this Friday. So it's a simple report, just asking how many people are getting billed and what is the lag time per month.
So they're telling the town by the end of this week?
Yes.
So why don't we put this on our next agenda since we'll be able to see what you got,
That's fine.
okay?
You get that, man?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you won't have to ask for it on.
Yeah,
You
it's
already
just,
said we want it on the agenda.
All right, let's keep moving then. Number 4 is from Director of Public Works, Mr. Mattson.
You guys had asked, this is the Liberty Village Apartments at 1034 East Street.
Woodworkers?
No,
No.
the old Fails Foundry,
Oh, okay.
East Street. You guys had asked that I break it out and list out the connection fees.
Yeah,
As you can see here, when the project proponent came before the town, there was question as to what the sewer and water fees should actually be.
Yeah.
So to keep the process rolling and keep the process moving forward, they offered to escrow amounts for sewer and water fees. You'll see that 462,030 is being, it has been escrowed in water, and 312,660 in sewer. We're at a point in time now where we need resolution on what the actual fees should be, so we can release the escrow, or release a portion of the escrow, or keep it all.
Yeah.
So what I did was I took the amount of units, which is 152 units. I gave them credit for the 10 residential units that were in place, and as well as the 14,000 square feet of commercial space that was pre-existing before they tore the buildings down.
how many of those units were there?
Excuse me, Pat?
Of the non-residential units?
I believe there were
5 of those?
5 commercial.
And did they all have various different sizes of service lines?
It totaled 14,000 square feet. It totaled 14,000 square feet, it's all listed out here.
Okay,
It was a barber shop.
was this
mechanic
one building?
shop, 2 buildings, I believe.
And did they have they had water service? Were those service lines, how big were they?
They had a 6-inch fire line, and I'm not sure what size the domestic line was.
All right.
They could have, I believe they could have both been 6-inch and broken off inside.
Okay.
So using the fee structure that is in place, that the board has in place, back in 2018 or whatever it was, I calculated the fees, came up with those escrow amounts. Now the developer's looking for resolution as to what exactly those fees should be.
What'd you come up with?
They're right here. Discussion item
Yeah.
4, Patrick?
It's
So,
gone.
so have we, did they escrow 774,006?
They did,
They did, so
total.
you're saying that that's what it is, and I presume that the folks at 1034 Liberty Village are saying they disagree, do they? Or is that not the case?
They disagree. With working in the credits,
Yeah,
I came up with the water connection fees of 346,480.
yeah,
The developer is counted with 239,570.
And what's his justification?
He just feels that's what it should be, based on his calculations.
Okay, so that's nothing except,
And on the sewer portion, I came up with 237,140. And they're looking to pay 22,800.
so have they provided the breakdown the way you provided? And if they, without that, I agree with your calculations.
If you remember when this project first started, they provided us with like 3 or 4
I
different
do-
scenarios.
Yeah, but at the time, and it still is, we provide 3 methods of calculating. And I remember that they said, oh, I just wanna put in 2, I believe it was 4-inch, which were like 84,000 per unit. And he said, and that will serve me fine. And said, no, the way our rate
but-
fees list, it says you can do it this way, this way, this way,
It's
and
the
you go with
highest
the
number.
highest number.
Exactly.
Right,
So if you see, I gave him credit for the 10 residential units that were in place, the commercial space, the 2 connection fees, the fire connection fee.
Rick, why don't you just add your two figures for sewer and water? And it comes out to 500 something and just
It's,
release the
No, it
rest of
comes
it
to
from escrow.
700
It's right here,
something.
John.
he's
No,
there.
7,
Is the-
that's what they have escrow.
Right, I
That
know.
was the escrow, this is.
No, that's what they
is-
put in escrow, but this
He's
is what
proposing,
Rick wants.
Rick wants this and
And
this
this and
number.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The 500 some odd
Oh, okay.
$1,000,
Yeah.
release the rest from the escrow.
John, could I make a motion
Certainly.
to approve the Director of Public Works,
Figures,
figures, yes, to the tune of $774,690.
it's gonna be
Split between
500.
the
Just,
water.
just let me clarify one more time, the 774,690, Patrick,
Yes.
is what we are holding.
Is what?
Is
What we're
escrow,
holding in escrow.
is
Oh,
escrow.
they're holding that.
Right.
But the two
Okay, and
figures,
your,
So my proposal is.
okay, wait a
346
second, I don't have, how much is,
Yeah, my proposal is 346,480 for water.
right, I got, okay, no, I don't have that.
It's in the line,
yeah,
yeah.
you do.
He's saying down here.
Okay, this one here.
346, yep,
A
and
total
down
one.
here.
Does
This
it come
one,
to
237.
543,620 if my math was right?
83,
So what's,
83?
583.
So I'm
what's the
saying,
total
why not-
then?
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. 583,620.
Why not release the rest of it, over and
Well, wait a
above
minute, we
that?
don't release until they agree to it.
No, we could still release part of the escrow. Then if they want,
So they're gonna get money back anyway.
They
I,
take us to court. if they-
right, I agree
Escrow.
with Commissioner Hassanay, we shouldn't release anything until they agree to
Yeah.
it. Because, based on my conversations, they are not gonna agree to it.
Yeah, they want to do anything unilateral. They want to negotiate, so you don't give up your total negotiation to a big.
Well, he's gonna have, if we pass this, then they have to negotiate with us. If, the motion passes that we support the director's, figures of $583,620. That's the total, and the total water would be $346,480, and the total sewer would be $23,714. So, that's my motion. I move that.
then we go along with the directors.
And if you wish to add that
And
if they
release.
disagree, they can provide.
No.
Okay.
No, if they disagree, that they know the procedure.
Are we gonna release the rest of the escrow?
No.
Yeah, well,
But that's
they have
up to-
that.
Yeah, no.
When you release that,
No, he doesn't
That's
want to
up to him.
release it.
He doesn't want to release
You
it.
don't wanna
Well, if
release
you
that.
ever negotiate anything, you don't give up your
We are just
negotiation
saying that
before you
this
negotiate.
figure
This
is
is-
correct.
They want it, they
We
don't
agree.
want to agree, they want to negotiate, so you don't
well,
give
they're
up.
not gonna negotiate higher.
You-
I mean,
Why are
right,
you giving anything up until they settle it?
okay. This is the number he's presented. Is that true,
That is escrow.
right?
This
This
is,
is presented
This
to
is
them
the number
we're
the town-
giving them, that's a
$83,000.
negotiation, that's a negotiation figure we're presenting to them.
Right.
You're not giving anything.
We're saying, here's our figure,
Now they have to
583.
answer. That's not, they have to answer next. You're not doing
Okay.
anything until they
Now, are
answer.
they gonna answer with more or less?
You figure it out.
They're gonna answer with less.
We've already
They
answered.
already answered,
So you're
like,
negotiating for them.
No, I'm
See-
saying now,
See where it says total developer proposed?
That's our
That's
answer.
what they're proposing to give us.
right, I saw that.
Yeah.
So if we approve this number, your directed number, now they can't negotiate with you any lower than the 583,620.
Surely.
Says who?
Sure.
They have to negotiate with
Says
the
who?
commission.
Well, so
Well,
they are.
they are technically,
They are negotiating with the
They're
commission.
not gonna negotiate with us. They're gonna just
Well, we're not
pay
giving
it.
anything back till they agree.
So you think we can get more money?
no.
No.
Then,
So-
you don't understand what I'm driving at here, do you?
What are you trying
We've
to?
done this before, and it always came out in our favor. If we support the director with that number,
the five
That's it, you don't have to
eighty-three.
do anything other than support the director with that number.
That's
That's
right.
all you have to do.
That's all, and if they
You're
come,
not giving anything back to anybody.
and if they come and say,
That's a
we don't like
proposal.
this number, we'll say, well, that's unfortunate.
They've given us a proposal of a number, we're giving them one back. That's all.
And I'm
That's it.
saying we
We're
should do it
bringing
this
the
way.
position we're
All
proposing
right,
to
hey,
settle that.
you're the commission, I think this has worked before. If you think you have a better idea, let's hear the motion.
I move that we approve the proposal of Director Mattson for the amount submitted to us for water and sewer combination in the two numbers on this report, the total 583,620. We agree to that as a negotiating calculation to be presented to the applicant.
I'll second it.
Yeah, I'm not mentioning negotiation.
Any more discussion? All those in favor of that?
Aye.
No,
It's your thing.
no, that's not my thing.
Oh, it's John's.
No, he's got another word in there that I don't, that negates the whole point of my argument. And it's negotiation, that's not negotiable. That's what I'm trying to get through to you folks.
Who said anything about negotiating?
He just did,
No, he said we're gonna go along with the 583 or whatever it is. that the-
And-
We're giving them an answer.
and
Mary, did you not hear, the word negotiating?
I did not.
He did not hear that,
What
word
is the
nego-
motion?
Well,
Can you read it
you
for
know,
us?
it's a good
But I
thing we
can-
have a camera and we have it on audio.
Yes,
So what
I
is the
will
motion?
listen back first thing.
okay.
So you want me to remove that? The thing is, we're approving our director's
position.
recommendation to us. That's all we're doing.
That's it.
We're approving a recommendation, period.
So
Okay,
would you make that as your motion?
Say your motion
Okay,
again,
all right.
John.
Yes.
I move that we accept and approve the motion of the director of DPW based on his calculations for water, 346,480, and sewer, 237,140, for a total of 583,620 to be presented to the applicant.
I'll second that.
okay. We all set? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained? 5-0. Okay, move right
Thank you.
along.
So what we're talking about fees, just, I know it's not on the agenda, but the age qualified village on Renmar Road, off of Renmar Road, as part of that project, the developer was going to install a new 12-inch water main from Main Street, the length of Norfolk Street to the complex, and then a portion of West Street up to that point. They're going to be, the way I understand it, they're going to be looking for some consideration on their connection fees as well. Now, that one differs from this one in that the project that they're gonna perform is there's a mutual benefit, okay? Because the upper end of Lincoln Road is flow deficient. The improvement that they're going to make on Norfolk Street will enhance that flows in that area. As you saw, I believe, in the Wright Pierce report that they did for us
Yep.
some time ago. So just a heads up that that's probably gonna be coming your way.
Okay. Okay, William Abbott. Connection to MWRA water.
This is just, at our last meeting, we talked about the possibility of basically asking the MWA to allocate, even though we wouldn't
And it looks like
use
you
it now, I just
you can't get
follow
in
them.
line.
They, you know, MWRA, I did talk to them, I talked to them frequently, and, I think Quabbin has so much water I mean, I guess if everybody joined it, they'd make it harder for us to join. But right now, it's a win-win for them and for us, because they're wasting the water, basically. I'm using the jargon here.
Yeah, you spill a lot of it.
Yeah, and right into the Connecticut River. They'd like to sell it, or at least have it incumbent.
Won't they give us a good price?
They will. They will give us a good price, but you'd have to negotiate that. That would be a negotiation.
They
So-
have a safe yield of like 300 billion gallons a day. They're only at around 200.
Here's what they told me.
And the reason they spill, unlike us, we can just turn the pumps off.
No, they can't.
No, they can't do that because the water comes
Keeps
down the
coming.
river. They got nothing to do with it. So, you know, the idea that they're spilling it because they, they have no way of holding it back.
Here's the thing.
Unlike, somebody has a well or you got a reservoir you're drawing it on that isn't being constantly filled. They have no way of stopping it, so.
What they told me is this: if for some strange reason that right now with the people they have on the system, if it didn't have one drop of rain for 10 years,
Yeah,
on that 10th year, they would be able to supply water to their current
I find
customers.
that hard to believe.
Is that crazy?
Wasn't a couple
it's-
years ago,
it's
the
that-
reservoir was way down?
It's that vast and there's a lot of water in it.
they,
Yeah, but a couple years back, I remember the reservoir was down.
well, they had a
Down
problem
quite a bit.
in their system.
Wow.
Their system
Yeah.
was a sieve, and they spent a lot of money repairing all sorts of leaks and whatever, and that's why, and they have charts showing that their usage was way up here, and now it's down here. They could have an increase in usage, current usage of 50%, and be just at their safe yield. They got plenty of capacity.
They
I
take that-
only bring it up because I thought, let me just ask, get things in writing as to, is there a way to, and the answer is, you can apply for an emergency, which either is for, and it doesn't apply to us, it's for a short term.
But you can't get in line.
You can't get in the line, if you want, you're
You go
applying
for
for,
Supplemental.
We have
a
a-
permanent connection.
We have a tiny advantage in that we're already part of the system.
Yeah.
And here's another thing, this is something that they told me. When they made the law, Quabbin was for Boston. That's what it was for. And of course, Boston had all the political power back in the day. Every bit of water that falls in Massachusetts that's capable of going into Quabbin can and will be used if Quabbin needs it. You know what that means? That means that whole system, the Ware River system, Connecticut system, all that water would be moved to Quabbin in case of some type of catastrophe, whatever it is.
They keeping
Just, so
keeping
this,
the snakes out of it?
the snakes go with it.
The snakes go with it.
They got it. The snakes are there to guard the water. So, if we were to get involved with their water, it would be an insurance policy. Because this place is not going to run out of water. Every place else could, but Quabbin is not going to. So that's why I'm interested. I'm not interested in joining today or tomorrow or maybe in 10 years, but it's an insurance policy for us. I was looking at the population data. The population in Walpole right now, of course, nobody knows really, but it's 25,252 is the last time they did something. And now that was surprising to me, and probably to you folks too, 25,000. Now, I don't know how many people are gonna be moving in.
I think the new number's about ready to come out. I think the new census number's about ready to come out.
Okay, so we'll even get better numbers. So, our population's going up, and we have water, and that's fine, but I would like to see us as a commissioner, that we had an insurance policy someplace.
Yeah, it's not so much population, residential population, as it is industry of all commercial, large water users.
Yeah.
Because right now, following the description that Bill gave of the MWRA, where their daily demand is progressively going down. Ours is the same way.
Yeah. That's, okay.
Anyways, just information that came up, we now have on record as to their response.
So, you know, it's up to us in town meeting if we want to pursue something like this.
Seems to me they already shot it down once.
That's right.
But we didn't really have a presentation. I think if we massage the opportunity and create it in a way that's favorable for the town and the MWRA, and it's not too obtrusive in either direction, I think town residents might be interested. And I think particularly at this point where there's infrastructure money gonna be floating around in Massachusetts, statewide, countywide, and townwide, that some of it's earmarked for infrastructure improvements in this area. There may be some way, like I was thinking the other day, that if you look at the money Norfolk County gets, if you say how many towns in Norfolk County are not part of the MDR? Very few. So it could be if there's an allotment, maybe we can tap into an additional or extraordinary amount of money from Norfolk County that's tailored for sewer and water infrastructure that other towns can't go after. And that would allow us to maybe make some sort of a deal on a supplemental agreement. And maybe it goes into effect in 4 years or something, but we get something underway and we have some money to fund it.
The governor had earmarked $400 million in those federal funds for sewer and water infrastructure improvements. That has since been cut to $100 million.
Okay, but he's gonna send that, my point, and I agree with that, but I think what they do, they send so much to counties, so much to towns, so much to the state. And it could be, you know, we're eligible for some for the town, but we might be able to get a nice piece from the county too, because no one else can go after that. And with the two, the stars might be aligned at the right time to try to make a deal. And like Patrick says, I mean, you could certainly possibly negotiate something that's a 3-year, some kind of a progressive thing where we get started, but we don't really have to become a full member for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, whatever.
Well, their revenue stream is down, that's the problem. Because of what you said.
To do the connection, and I presume they would have us go through the process, even if it does require, this town voting, which is and
Right.
that's the easiest step. So you would have to do that, and the earliest you could do that would be in the spring, if you wanted
Right.
to go that route. We did need, was it 125 or 175,000? Because we're going to go through Norwood. You also have to get Norwood's permission, and they would want a wheeling fee, but they would, in addition to saying, well, since you're gonna use our pipes, we're gonna charge you, but they would have concern that all of a sudden us drawing whatever the amount is may cause an issue with their system, you know, because it would be at the end of their system, and they may say, yes, you can, but by the way, you're gonna have to upgrade from point A to B from, 6-inch pipe to a 12-inch pipe, I don't know, something like that. That would be at our thing, and I think the other thing we would do is, there'd have to be a meter or something at the town line. Those would be the first 2 steps, and then you're starting to go to the Water Resources Commission, to the DEP, and there's a whole, the legislature. This policy,
Right.
OP number 10, if you read it, it lays out the steps. But if you're interested in doing it, the first step would be to do the same thing we did a number of years ago, maybe making a different presentation at town meeting, because if you can't get it by there's no sense in
No, but
going anywhere else.
I think we have somebody speak maybe from the MWR or some other third
And-
party, like explain the big picture, like, not just the Walpole's interest, but how we fit into the mosaic of all the water resources in
Well,
the area and the.
Maybe we want to have them come in before, and the town meeting warrant for the spring doesn't open until probably December or something. Is that
Yeah.
usually around that time?
February, isn't it?
Well, there's another.
But anyways, you
piece of
have
this
them
too.
come and we could get a sense of do they consider, what you're suggesting?
It so
Yeah, would it be a
happens,
feasible, what kind of pathway alternatives are there?
Yeah,
other than just the
Well,
quote, the
then-
straight. And the other thing you mentioned is Canton is also, we're pretty close to the Canton pipelines. If Norwood didn't, I don't see any reason why Norwood, and I think, John, what's his name? From, the guy that retired from Norwood,
Glossa.
no, not John.
Carroll.
He's dead.
John Carroll.
He's gone. I
John
think.
Carroll is, I think he's still involved with the MDA board, though. He's going
He
to
is.
Norwood.
Thought he died.
John Carroll?
Yeah,
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, not,
I think I heard he
no,
did.
that was Bernie Cooper.
Bernie
Bernie Cooper.
I know
is-
Bernie did too.
But he was encouraging for Walpole to participate when, you know, we talked to him when he was town manager. He's still on the board over there. So I don't think that I wouldn't assume Nor would be negative. I think that, and particularly if it's a wheeling charge, you only pay for it if you use it. So if we have the supplemental service in place and we're not using it for 3 years, they're not getting anything,
Right.
you know, so it doesn't cause us, you
well,
know.
but you would need to get Norwood's approval.
Oh, yeah, no,
You know,
no.
that, yes, we could, and it's certainly reasonable. If I was them, I'd say, yeah, okay, I'm agreeing to do that, because maybe there's a little bit of money on a wheeling charge. But I'd also wanna make sure that, you're not going to disrupt our system, and you're going to pay for the study to show that, A, there is no disruption, or, oh, there is, and here's what you have to do to fix it, as I suggest, maybe increasing the size of
Well,
a
let's-
main, and,
Yeah, but
you know,
that's
you're gonna pay for
hypothetical.
it. But
You know,
that's,
here's the thing, you don't have to get involved with a lot of things. It just so happens that we have a huge factory right on the border, where it's the closest point practically to MWRA water. We could, as part of our plan, bring the water directly from MWRA into the plant, freeing up the water that they would ordinarily use
yeah,
and giving us still a
Connection.
And, yeah, that, and then anything that, all these things, the hypothetical things you said, would, now that's the company's problem.
You'd still have to get permission
not
from
when you read
MWRA.
the,
What?
You still have to get permission from MWRA.
Oh, yeah,
But
absolutely.
they'd like
and
it.
the
They want the big
MWRA
factory.
doesn't wanna deal with businesses.
No, no,
They
wait,
wanna
I
deal
didn't
with
say
the
that.
town.
No, you
No,
just-
I just wanna make,
No,
it-
you
it's,
just made that up.
no, no, I didn't.
No, they don't want to
It's in
deal,
writing.
the only people, the only entities they can deal with are municipalities. They can't deal with companies.
Exactly, that's what I just said.
No, not
I
exactly.
did just
Well,
say that.
listen, just Bill,
Yeah.
we just had our congressman here the other day, just on
Yes,
Saturday at the
yes.
football field. He's the guy that negotiated Walpole giving a $20 million tax credit
Right.
to Siemens.
Right.
So he can be the guy to help smooth the waters over with how we helped the Commonwealth of Massachusetts when they were doing flipjacks to keep Siemens in Massachusetts. And the people who made the sacrifice, the little old town of Walpole, coughed up the $20 million tax credit. So now it's the time to collect the chits that we got for the state, for the state economic development, and the good congressman. And have them help smooth the
congressman?
waterway. Lynch.
So I'm
Maybe
just
your
suggesting,
congressman,
John,
not
that if
mine.
we wish to
Well,
do that,
I'll vote for a Democrat again or something.
if the,
I'm not saying that, I'm not
if,
talking about.
I'm just suggesting if we wanna do that, the next opportunity would be at the Springtown meeting, and maybe we wanna get some information from the, have them come in, because if they say, no, we don't do that, or they may say, oh, yes, we do, and then we can use that information to get the town's
Do
approval.
what?
All right, let's figure out a date for a workshop on this topic with some people from the MDRA.
Right.
That's all we're gonna get together, that's all we're gonna talk about.
Right.
No other business, no,
Right. It would be
Okay, let's-
abatements or anything.
Let's keep
just-
it in mind and keep moving here.
All right,
Somebody
let's
said-
talk about parking lots.
Parking lots, Patrick.
Okay, here's what I propose. I propose you have all the information in your packet. Look at that packet. Is there any comments about the packet?
Yeah,
I know he had a good one.
I don't wanna spend $88,000.
That's another one, okay? And how could we recover that? Who's gonna be using this parking lot? By putting a parking lot in, are we encouraging people to bring cars into that area? And would it be better just to close the place down and have foot traffic only? There's a whole bunch of questions that we should ask, and I don't think we're ready for that tonight. So can we put it on the agenda for the next
Just
meeting?
leave it on as a reoccurring item under discussion.
Okay, can we do that? So that we can look at this, this is too important to just make some,
Okay,
And I think the 88's on
Rates.
the low side.
rates. This never got on the agenda. What I was thinking is that we have block rates. That first block rate, if we could expand that first block rate to include most of the people who are senior citizens, who are single people, if we could move that figure and make up the difference on the other rates, that might help our seniors and the people that we have. 9% of the people in Walpole are below the poverty level.
I believe that they're also within the first block.
Well, that's what I want to investigate. How big can we make that first block to make up the revenue with the other blocks? Can you give me that information? You're a smart guy. I know you can. I was being facetious. All right? And in other words, if we increase the block rate by 20%, what will the other blocks look like?
You're talking about expanding
The basic rate, the first rate.
the actual block cubic footage?
Yeah, footage, right, volume,
I just
demand,
checked
as you call it.
Westwood
you're gonna save me some money.
block rates today, and those are very broad. Like the first block itself is very broad, 1,400 thing and per month, and that too at $45 per 1,000 cubic feet, which is way cheaper than us. So we should look into that block rate like a street.
Yeah, you see, we can't go with way cheaper than us.
No, that's not the point. But the block rate.
Okay,
yeah.
so as long as we understand that, you know, we have certain operating costs that we need to recover, that less.
You gotta make
does.
the revenue.
Right.
I understand that, that's what I'm saying, but you redistribute it.
I know what you're saying. Okay.
Okay, is there anything else? No? Good. Someone make a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
We depended on you.
All those in
John, to
favor?
adjourn.
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
Aye.
we're out of here.